Alright, so Artist of Strong Style here to give you another video on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. Within week by week, I'll show a video of playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Dawn of the New Era Pro. So yeah, you can download it. It is for free. You can, no doubt, you can dual masters as well. Download it for free as well. I just like Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, as I always say for each video I've done. It's only because when you start off, first, create your username, create your password. Hopefully you didn't forget. If you did, of course, press forgot password, log in. You got your options right here, what you can do. But most likely what you want to start off with is create your deck. Dual Masters, there's nothing like this in here. Of course, yeah, it's going to have a huge huge setting right here of, cards, whatever, but you're not going to start off with the cards that you want to be playing. Dual Masters, it takes time. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, no, it doesn't. So you start off with whatever cards you're going to be making. So you just press on search, or if you know your category of whether if it's a monster, spell, or trap, okay. Maybe it's a ranked or a level. If you know the ranked and level, or even the scale of a pendulum, write it down. If you're looking for your limited, okay, is it all banded, limited, semi-limited, OCG, TCG, in between both, custom or no exclusive? All right. If we're talking about a monster and you know the attack and defense, maybe just write that, type that in. It's an effect, and then search. Now the deck we're going to be talking about and making is one of course, all my decks are fun. So one of my other creative decks is the Darkworld Fusion. So yeah, this is Fusion, which I like to do. Fusion is one of my things I love to do if you're going to play from your extra deck. But it's not just Darkworld. So first, let's start off with Darkworld. So let's spell out Dark World. And you got all these different kinds. See? You got all the creations of Darkworld cards. In Dual Masters, you do not have this. Or yes, you do, but you're not gonna be able to start off with whatever you want to play. It's just gonna show right there, like, all right, you just have to get the cards, the actual cards, when you intend to open up packs, and hopefully you get these cards. And as soon as you get them, then you can possibly start getting some more. See, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, you don't. Just start off with whatever you're gonna be making. Now, okay, Dark World. One Rainbow X, which we call it as Rainbow. Okay, so you start off with one. See, I didn't have to buy an actual pack. I just swiped it in here. And yeah, there's gonna be my Dark World, and then I'll show you in a bit what my other card, what the other deck is gonna be, combining it with the Dark World. So first, over King of the Dark World. You can special summon this card from your graveyard by returning one level 7 or lower Dark World monster you control to the hand. If this card is discarded by a graveyard by card effects, by a card effect, you can add one level 5 or higher Dark World monster from your deck to your hand. Except Rainbow, let's just call it Rainbow, as it called as Rainbow X, but it's Rainbow. Over King of the Dark World. Then, if this card was discarded from your hand to your graveyard by an opponent's card effect, you can special summon one level 4 or lower Dark World monster from your deck or graveyard to either field. Now, particularly how I'm playing this, I'm only going to depend on the effect of, I can, if I have a Dark World monster of a level 5 or lower on the field, revive that right back to my hand and special summon Rainbow from the graveyard. So Rainbow, I use one. What I'm using two of is Grapha, the first Dark Lord that came. Grapha, Dark Lord of the Dark Lord. You can special summon this card from your graveyard by returning one Dark World monster that you control to the hand. Same thing. It's pretty much the same thing. Now, what you're going to want to be doing with the Dark Worlds is discarding a hand without paying a cost. If you're paying a cost, you're not going to get the effects of these Dark World monsters. Now, if this card is discarded to the graveyard by a card effect, as long as you're not paying the cost, target one card your opponent controls, destroy that target. Then, if this card was discarded from your hand by a graveyard by opponent's card effect, look at one random card in your opponent's hand. Then, if it was a monster, you can special this card from your field. Now, okay, I'm just reading you the full text of what this card is. But I'm only depending on the first, which is, if discarded by a card effect without paying a cost, you'll be able to use Grapha's effect, which would be to destroy and target one card your opponent controls. That's Grapha when it's sent away. And it has the same effect as Rainbow. If these are in your graveyard, if you have any Dark World monster that's on the field, get that card right back to your hand, you special summon this Dark World monster. So the boss monsters right here, 1 Rainbow and 2 Graphas. I'm only using 1, but I'm going with 2 Graphas, the original Grapha. All right, so let's get on with now. You're going to need your searcher of the Dark Worlds, which is Snow. If this card is discarded by a card effect, if it was discarded from your hand to the graveyard, you can target one monster, in your opponent controls. All right, so you can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard. Okay, forget that part. So, discarded by a card effect, sent away. Search for any card that is called Dark World from your graveyard. From your deck, add it to your hand. My mistake. Excuse me on that. So, this is your searcher for the Dark World. Sent away without paying a cost. Search for any Dark World card that is called Dark World. Then you got Brow, the draw power of the Dark Worlds. Anytime it is sent away by a card effect. Okay, all the Dark Worlds cannot be, if you're paying a cost, you can't use their effects. If you're not paying a cost, you do get the effect, which is Brow, draw 1 card. Then Genta, discarded by a card effect, discarded, add 1 Gate to the Dark World, the field spell for the Dark Worlds. That's the way Genta does. Get your Gate to the Dark World. Then just 1 silver and a gold. When these cards are sent to the graveyard, special summon this right back onto the field. Sent to the graveyard, revive it right back onto the field. See, that's the whole point of the Dark Worlds. Send these cards to the graveyard. They all have effects. As long as you're not paying a cost. Now, one of the cards is going to be using dangers. Only 2 dangers. The Bigfoot and the Thunderbird. No other danger cards. So, Danger Bigfoot. Reveal this card from your hands. Your opponent randomly chooses 1 card from your entire hand. So shuffle your hand. Your opponent's going to choose 1 of them. If they chose Danger Bigfoot, goes to the graveyard. And as well as also, if this card was discarded, you can target 1 face-up card your opponent controls and destroy it. Now, if they chose the wrong card, you get to special summon this card from your hand and draw 1 card. And that's not paying a cost. So let's say, you had Danger Bigfoot and you had some more Dark World cards. Well, then you're going to be able to play some Dark World cards. Thunderbird, same thing. Reveal it to your opponent. Shuffle your hand. They call it right. Your Thunderbird goes to the graveyard, but you'll destroy 1 set card your opponent controls. If they call it wrong, your Thunderbird will be special summoned, and you'll get to draw 1 card. Similarity, Thunderbird, called correct, goes to the graveyard, target 1 card your opponent controls that is set, destroy it. Bigfoot, same thing. And there you have it. See, only two dangers. Now we're talking what my second part of this deck is using tearlaments. Only the Sheeran. Now, of course, we only allowed one. Canvas, only allowed one. Merly, only allowed one. Since, these got hit damagedly, they got hit permanently you can only use one because it went too fast. And then Rhino Heart, the only one that you could still use three. If you do not know what the tearlaments do, okay, you can fuse these when they're in the graveyard. Count this as your one fusion and whatever fusion you may be making. So, tearlaments. So, this is how it goes. During your main phase, okay, so now we're talking about shearing. During your main phase, you can special this card from your hand. And if you do, send one monster from your hand to the graveyard. Then send the top three cards to the top from your deck to the graveyard. If this card is sent to the graveyard by an effect, except during damage step, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck by placing the fusion materials mentioned in from your hand, field, or in the graveyard, including this card. So what I'm saying is, when Sheeran goes to the graveyard, grab your Sheeran, put it right back to your deck, and whatever you're going to be making to make your fusion. Think of it that way. If you do not know what the tearlaments do, that's what they do. Now, to tell you the truth, this is going to be a cost. So hopefully you can just get get a Grapha in there, get whatever that you need. Canvas. You can, when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can special this card from your hand. So most likely put in defense mode. And if you do, send the top three cards from your deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard, except by damage step, you can fuse. Again, get this card. So yeah, it's sent into the from your deck into the graveyard. Grab that, put it right back to your deck, to the bottom of the deck, and any other monster that you need to make a fusion. So this counts as your fusion. Merly, same thing, except if this card is no more special, send the top three cards. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, except during damage step, you can fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck by placing the fusion materials mentioned on it from your hand. Now, Rhino Heart is when you activate this, send away a tearlament. Send one away to start off your play of doing a fusion, except for itself. Now, this card gets sent to the graveyard. You can special summon this card, but it leaves the field when it comes to the end of your turn. Rhino Heart is the one that sends away a tearlament. Now, okay, the last card of the monsters. King of the Swamp. This is fusion. So, yes, King of the Swamp, your substitute name and your searcher to get polymerization. Now I'm going to show you what the tearlaments have, and this is why you want to have King of the Swamps in there with tearlaments. Or you're going to copy a name of what I'm going to show you. Okay. So that's for monsters. Let's go with magic cards then. Gates of the Darkworld. The field spell. Now remember, Genta gets it. Now, Gates of the Darkworld. All fiend monsters gain 300 attack and defense points. You can banish one fiend monster from your graveyard, discard one fiend monster, then draw one card. This is not paying a cost. This is like, all right, you send away Genta, you activate Gates, remove from play Genta, send away any Dark World, and they'll get their effects. So like brown, yeah, the effect is when it's done by a card effect, draw one card. But then when gates, you draw another card. So that's drawing two cards. Gates of the Dark World is the field spell for the Dark Worlds. All right, so let's go back to the Dark Worlds. Dark World Ascension, the quick play to make a fusion for a Dark World. During the main phase, fusion summon one Fiend Fusion monster from your extra deck by banishing materials mentioned on it from your field or graveyard. If fusion summoning a Dark World monster this way, you can also discard monsters as materials during your main phase. If this card is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. Then discard one Dark World monster. See, imagine that. You only want to have one in there. You're gonna need Foolish Burial, and that's a play also already for even for a right here, tearlament gets sent away, and you'll see what I mean. Polymerization, see? Fusion. So you're gonna need your polymerization. Yes, there are different versions of it, different archetypes of polymerization. See, like this kind of polymerization, but I like this way. This was considered Yugi's way of polymerization. This was Kaiba's way. I don't know where the hell that came from, but I like this. I like this artwork better. Card destruction. See, remember in the game of Duel Masters, you're not okay. Yeah, the rule is one. You can only use one Harpy's Feather Duster, but you're not gonna have these different kind of artworks, art types of what Harpy's Feather Duster you're allowed. But of course, yeah, choose whatever kind of Harpy's Feather Duster. I like this artwork better, so I go with this. I go with this one. See Raigeki, choose whichever one that feels good for you. I believe it was two Raigekis I was doing. I remember this is just fun, so I don't even care. Maybe useful, not so much anymore, but it is what it is. Which I put in Book of Moons. Oh no, Book of Moons is supposed to be over here. And then my last card of the deck is Monster Reborn. See, no trap cards in here, no Dark World dealings, no Allure Darknesses. Hope they can, more draw power, nor Call by the Grave. And then, yeah, you see right there. It's just, those are the monsters. No Nibiru, no Kaiju, no Ash Blossom, no nothing. So then let's go with the extra deck now. All right, so we're just going back to Dark World because, yeah, I was just showing you the deck. Now we're going back to it because of the fusions now. All right, so Floorless, Chaos King of the Dark World. So you need a two Fiend monsters and a rainbow. This is what I mean by polymerization. And what if you wanted to, and you substitute it as the actual text of a name. So rainbow. So it could be polymerization. Use King of the Swamp as rainbow and any two fusions. I mean, any other two Dark Worlds. This is not paying a cost. So what if, yeah, polymerization, King of the Swamp, substitute it as rainbow and you send away a Grapha or any other, you would still get the effects as well. So the effects of what your Dark World cards would be, and you're fusing out. So a lot of fusions you can do. And I'm only using one of these. That's why you only want to use one rainbow. Now click Chloris, King of the Dark World. So you need rainbow of the Overlord of the Dragon Lord plus 2 fiend monsters. And this card is fusion. Summon. You can destroy all cards your opponent controls. The card's original attack and defense each become the number of materials used for its summoning times 1,000. So most likely a 3,000 beat sticker is what you get. Once per turn, quick effect. You can target one face-up card you control. Discard one card. Also, your opponent cannot target that face-up card with card effects for the rest of this turn. Very good. Now, okay, Grapha. You need Grapha and one dark monster. So imagine this. Okay, remember, King of the Swamp, count this as Grapha and any other dark. Now when you use, Sheeran, Canvas, Merly are darks. So think of it this way. If you have Grapha in your graveyard, and you can do the effect of fusion, so you get Sheeran, grab that, revive back to your deck, get Grapha right back to your deck. That's to make your fusion. So you need Grapha, and you need a dark monster. Get this back to your, when it's sent away, and you do the effect of a fusion, get Sheeran back to the deck, get your Grapha back to the deck. Put them both in any order that you want to the bottom of the deck, and here you go. You have made Grapha. When your opponent activates a monster effect or a spell card, trap card, while you have a card of cards in your deck, quick effect, you can activate this effect. The effect becomes your opponent's cards. Your opponent discards one card. You can only use this effect of Grapha, Dragon Overlord of the Dark World once per turn. If this fusion summon card is in its owner's control, leaves the field because of an opponent's card, by an opponent's card, you can special summon it. You can special summon one of your Grapha the Dark Lord. So yeah, your original Grapha that is banished or in your graveyard. With hands, discard one. With hands, one card. So yeah, interesting, right? All right, so that's for the Dark Worlds. Now, okay, Kaleidos, that's banded. But at least I use these three. You need Kaleidos, right? Okay, we're not allowed it. But if you substitute it as the name, it'll work. So you need a Tear Elements monster and a King of the Swamp. Copy it as Kaleidos. So that's okay. If you have King of the Swamp and you're doing the effect, okay, I'll get back my Tear Element. I'll get back King of the Swamp from my graveyard, revive them right back to the bottom of the deck of any order that I want, and here you go. You make really Kaleidos. So you need Kaleidos. That's your King of the Swamp. Make it as an actual text name on the card. Other aqua monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle, including itself. You can only use each of the following effects of Tear Elements Kaleidos once per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect that includes an effect, special summons a monster quick effect, you can negate the activation. If you do, destroy it. Then send one Tear Elements card from your hand or graveyard to the graveyard. If this fusion card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, revive this card right back. Gladio Heart. Okay, you need a Rhino Heart and Aqua monsters. Okay, Aqua is pretty much okay. Yeah, Aqua. This okay. You're not gonna. Okay, yeah. So your Aquas are Tear Elements, so that works as well. And okay, pretty much. I'm not gonna really depend on this a lot, but of course, have it in just for the heck of it. Cannot be used as fusion material. So you cannot use it for another kind of fusion. It's only for bringing this out. and it is a fiend. So there you go. It is a fiend. It'll gain 300 attack points more if you have Gates of the Dark World. It's not just for a Dark World. It's any fiend. So then, if this card is special summon, or if an Aqua monster is sent to your graveyard by a card effect while this card is on the field, you can target one card your opponent controls, shuffle it into the deck. If this card is sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you can special summon this card. And if you do, send one tearlaments card from your deck to the graveyard. Each of the following effects once per turn. So it's a bit of using darkworld and tearlaments, which I say is pretty interesting. All right then. Oops. Okay. I think I thought I spelled it correctly. Ah, here we go. No, I spelled it wrong. Okay, hold up. Ah, I spelled it wrong again. Come on. There we go. Guardian. Sorry if I spelled that wrong, but it's Guardian because I'm using one Guardian Chimera. 3 monsters with different names. You have different names in here. Must be fusion summoned by using only fusion materials. See, this is why you're using a lot of materials as fusion. Now, this doesn't have an actual text name, so you got to use polymerization with 3 different type of names of monsters, which you do. Now, Guardian Chimera. If this card is fusion summoned by a spell or a card effect, okay, with at least 1 monster from each. Now, if for how many that were in your hand that you did, so it was rather 2 or 1, you draw cards equal to the number of cards as material from your hand. So for as many as you used from your hand, that's how many cards you're going to be drawn. Now, for how many cards you used on the field, so let's say 1 or 2, then destroy that many cards. So it's a little difference. For how many cards you used in your hand, that's how many cards you're going to be drawn, and maybe you have less of destroying cards in the field. If you use the cards that are on the field to make your Guardian Chimera, that's how many cards you're going to be able to destroy, and possibly less of drawing cards. So yeah, pretty much that's it. Guardian Chimera, 3 different names. Cannot be used for King of the Swamp because it doesn't have an actual text name. Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. 2 dark monsters with 2 dark monsters in the field. You have so many dark monsters. Cannot be used also for King of the Swamp because it doesn't have a text name. Now, okay, if this card is fusion summon, you can make this card gain attack equal to one opponent's special summon monster until the end of this turn. Once per turn, you can target 1 level 5 or higher monster your opponent controls. Until the end of this phase, this card becomes the original name and replaces effect to the original effects. If a fusion summon card is destroyed, you can destroy all your opponent's special summon monsters. You know what's going to happen right now. A lot of players, they just depend on special summoning. They do not really depend on tribute summoning. So a lot of destruction you're going to be able to do with Starving Venom Fusion Dragon. And it's not hard to make. Just polymerize into two darks that you have on the field. Predator Triumph for over Tomb. I think that's the way he said, but it's a Predator. Okay, you need 3 dark monsters. You have a lot of dark monsters. On the field. You need them on the field, not from your hand. This effect of Predaplant is pretty much if you're going to do for a Predaplant deck. But most likely, I just have it because you want a good 3000 beat sticker, and all you need is just 3 dark monsters. But they must be on the field. Zombie Vampire, you are going to make 8s. So here's your 8s right here. So 2 level 8s. If you use a monsters with a level that is owned by your opponent for the rest of an Exceed summon of this card, treat it as a level 8. Okay, forget that part. You, the player, can target this card with card effects or special summon monsters. Except those special summon from the graveyard. You can detach 1. So yeah, now we're talking about the detaching of the cost of what Zombie Vampire does, what the effect is. Detach 1 material from this hand. Each player sends 4 cards from the top of their deck to the graveyard. Then if any monsters that were sent to this by this card effect, special summon one of those monsters. And hopefully, yes, you can get some Dark Worlds. And then my last card would just be number 38, Harbinger, Hope, Dragon, Titanic Galaxy. 2 level 8 monsters. So yeah, I'm making level 8s once per turn. When a spell, card, or effect is activated on the field, quick effect, you can negate that effect. And if you do, attach that card to this card. One and up as material. So you can have a lot of material. When an opponent's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 material from this card. Change that attack to this card instead. Attack, switch it to here, and switch it to your Harbinger Dragon, Titanic Galaxy. If another face-up Exceed summon you control is destroyed by a battle or a card effect, you can target 1 face-up Exceed monster you control. It gains the attack to 1 of those destroyed monsters of the original attack. Now let's call it Dark World Tearlaments. Save, and here's the deck. See? It's just a little fun type of thing I did. Maybe Book of Moon's not successful as much anymore, or not that useful, but this is just the way I made the deck, and I'm just showing you guys how I made it. I might be playing the deck a bit more like later on, but for right now, I'm just showing you the decks that I've done. So let's exit, get into a duel. Let's see if anybody's playing, but most likely none are playing. Okay, it seems like, but these guys are in a match right now. So yeah, you can go into player versus player. Okay, it's not so much. Anybody from ranked? No, nobody from ranked. And then when I try tournaments, there's a tournament going on, or there's just no tournament, so there's no need to. And not that many players, of course. Yeah, play on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. So yeah, a singles match. Some guy's hosting it. The rules can only be you can only use the TCG version. This guy's in a match against this guy right here, Robbie. So all I can do is you're gonna practice. So, and then the only reason I'm choosing, like, you only want to go like Evil Swarm, whatever, because those are like the only decks I know that you're really gonna, really pay attention to. Because if you play like Alcatraz, Altergees, Blue Eyes, whatever, if you try one, it's just gonna go fast. Like, you're not gonna even pay attention or know what is really going on. So let's just say Lightsworn. All right, so Lightsworn. I'm gonna put the rule to you only have 3 minutes to figure out what you're gonna be doing. Single dual life points. All right, starting hand. And here we go. Let's get into one. All right, so let's see. I'm going first, okay? Okay, so not as much. So I'm just gonna set the Book of Moon and my turn. If I go King of Swamp, yeah, polymerization, but I can't really polymerize into anything. No, I'll let you have the Wolf. Charge Light Brigade, no. Lumina, okay. You bring out the clown, pay 1,000. No. I'll let this one go. I'll take it. King of the Swamp. Alright, so activate. So activate another effect? No. But I'll get polymerization to my hand. Activate polymerization. Now I can make Florless or Grapha. I'll go Grapha. So send away King of the Swamps as a substitute name as Grapha. And I will get Brow. Send those two away. Special summon out. Grapha. Oh, what the hell? You don't get your draw? Okay, then. I guess no draw, but it's usually in the... It's not paying a cost, but okay. Anyways, go to the dark world. Remove the Brow. Send away the snow. Draw my card because of gates. And then will I use... Okay. Of another card? No. But I will search for a darkworld card. Let's just go for a Grapha then. What do I got in here? Oh, King of the Swamps. All right, so let's Foolish Burial. Send away a tearlament. Do I want an effective tearlament? Yes, I will. So, what I want to make? I want to make the Kalos. To do that, I must bring back from the graveyard back to my deck a Sheeran and a King of the Swamp back to the bottom of the deck in any order that I want, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, brought those two back. Here we go. I brought out, here we the Kalos. Battle phase. Now, Lightsworns, I know he's going to have Honest at some point. Okay, I guess not. End phase. You see how it goes when you use a tearlament. That's the way you fuse with the tearlaments. And then just, yeah. Look at that. Okay. So what is he doing? Yes, I will. Negate it. And I must send away a card. Drop one. Pop the clown. Special summon opponent's monster. Nah, I don't need to. You want to bring it back again? Okay, then. Now that you have it. You're just gonna bring it back once again. Okay. Keep paying 1,000 to bring back that clown. Okay, this is when you have the dangers, but remember, even if they called it wrong, fine, you special summon, but you really want to get rid of King of the Swamp? Absolutely, really not. Plus, that's a wide open board right there. Just attack and it's over. And there you have it, see? That's why tearlaments is not so bad. Because I brought out two different... I brought out a tearlament fusion and a dark world fusion. See, it's not hard to do. See, most decks that I do, they say, wait a minute, how is that possible? It looks weird. It's not weird. If you know how to play it and start playing this, you understand how it's not weird, or they just say it's confusing. It's not confusing. It'll get confusing if you're playing the of course, the competitive cards. Yes, it would be very, very confusing to me. It's a dark one. Activate. Graveyard. Send away the snow. The other effect I guess I didn't, is when you remove the Genta, at least you could bring this out for this one turn. Now, what I want to bring out. What do I want to get? Oh, here we go. Polymerize. That's all I can do? Alright, fine. I'll use Silva and Graphene. Yeah, natural polymerization. Oh, what the hell? Okay, you can't special them? Well, I guess in the game you just can't do it, but in the real way, yes, I could have just special summoned all that. Anyways, then remember, send the Dark World back to your hand. There you go. Yeah, because the effect would have been I would special summon out the Silva, get back the Silva, and bring out the Grapha. That would have been my play. Or Rainbow, and I could have made the Chlordis, but I never played a Dark World version in this game yet, so I guess that doesn't work. But in the real game of Yu-Gi-Oh, yes, it would work. Because that's not paying no cost. Now, the thing that sucks, you can't book alone link monsters. Can't I spell for anything, but that's not really gonna stop me. So let's see. Snow, Silva. Get rid of the snow. Draw. You saw him striking, son of a bitch. You're gonna pay the cost then. Because look what happens when you do this. You better not have done that, because I'll just get this right back to my hand. And I will summon this right out. That's what happens. You better not have done that to me. Now it's gonna cost you. Zombie Vampire. Activate. Send away the Grappa. Send away 3, 4. Special summon one of those monsters. Which one did I... Oh, hell no, I don't want to do that. Oh, I have to now? Fine, then. Just becomes mine now. Hmm. Draw 2 cards. Sweet. Ooh, King of. Oh, we have anti-spell friend here. Tell me, damn it. Fine then. Draw. Search. Damn it, only if you didn't have that, but oh well then. And because I'm pissed that you did that to me, look what happens. And I'll end the game right here. If you piss me off, you are going to pay the price. Let's try going second. So my first 2 times I went second. I mean, I went first, my mistake. Lord, King. Alrighty then. Activate. Gates of the Dark World. Activate. Vanish. No. Simulated Gold. No Pentecost. Special summon. Foolish Burial. Now here's the trick. You recognize why I did that? Here you go. Okay, sometimes if I can remember, he does have dimensional prisons. If I can remember going against the Black Moon deck. That's why I'm going to attack with Grapple. Okay, no King of the... Okay, so no, nothing like that was played. All right, so just regular attacks then. And Recalus is an Aqua. Okay. We look at that. Yeah, see? Tearlaments, darkworld. It's a lot of different kinds. That's why it's pretty useful. If you know how to use it, if you know how to play it correctly, then you attack. Go ahead. I don't care. Go ahead. Kill the Recalus. Kill the Rhino. I don't care. You. Okay. You collude? Oh god. Alright, main phase 2. Activate. Banish. Gold. I mean Silva, my mistake, no. But I'll special summon you. And phase. And collude stays only for that one turn. Now you're back to 2000. Fine, I sacrificed it. But I'll get right back. That's what I love about Real Kalios. So what if I had to sacrifice it? Oh, this is just sweet now. There you go. That was dimensional prisons in there. What I got here. All right. And that's just the way it goes. See how tier elements can work with Dark World? We just know how to play it correctly. So then, those were some duels, and then just, yeah, I guess there's not so many players to play against right now. Or else I would have played against players, but since there isn't, oh well. So then, hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, comment, subscribe. This was my Dark World tier elements deck. And yeah, it's pretty fun. Look at it. I was able to, yeah, first turn when the first duel, I was able to bring out a Grapha and a tier element out. And then, yeah, you saw zombie vampire. There are ways to bring this out. So then, I'll be speaking to y'all later. Peace.